Hey guys, Chris here with Widow Creek Photography. I've been a product photographer now for about 2 decades. One of the things that I always use is a strobe. And I just recently got a job where I was going to be in a warehouse for an extended period of time, and I didn't want to leave a whole bunch of really expensive equipment in there. So I hunted around for some inexpensive strobes, good enough to get the job done, but if something were to happen to one of them, I wouldn't have felt too bad about losing it. And I found these online. These are the Neewer brand. I've got quite a bit of Neewer's equipment. I'm very happy with some of the stuff that they've been putting out. These are the Q-600Ns, and they turned out to be some really nice strobes. One of the things that you have to battle with in some of the lesser expensive strobes is color casts and inconsistencies between colors. I'm not having any of those issues here. These have modeling lights inside of them as well as strobes. These are 600 watt strobes, so they have plenty of power to get just about anything done. They come with a standard Bower's quick release mount, so you can use just about any Bowen's mount, soft boxes, speed rings, all that kind of stuff. The one thing that I did struggle with though was when the strobe was overhead, which every product shoot I do has an overhead strobe. In order to adjust the power output, I had to climb up on a ladder, make my adjustment, and then climb back down. And that became very tedious very quickly. These knobs right here is where those power adjustments are made, right here. So I can adjust it here, up and down to different settings, all the way from 20 to I believe 80 is the top end of this, and it goes in 1-step increments. Yep, 80 is the top end. So they have a lot of range to adjust the power. But again, I was having to climb up on the ladder. Now, the other things that these come with are these wireless remotes, which is very cool. Not a lot of the lower end strobes come with a wireless remote. You have to buy those separately with Pocket Wizards or something like that. These remotes are pretty basic. They have a test fire button that you can shoot off, just like that. They have the ability to adjust, and they have the ability to set them on different channels. Each strobe came with its own remote, so I had 4 strobes, 4 remotes. The challenge that I ran into was everything was set on the same channel. All 4 strobes were set on the same channel, so when it fired from my camera, all 4 strobes fired. Going up and down the ladder got tedious quick. So I did some homework and some looking around. I went through the instruction. It's a little card that comes with these. It's very basic. It doesn't really help you at all. But I noticed something on there called a cell, and I didn't know exactly what it was, but there is a light sensor on the back here and a cell setting. So I tweaked it around a little bit, and I found out that any of the strobes that were set with the cell to on actually acted as a slave strobe. So I set all of my strobes that were on the ground to cell, and I set my master, I set cell off, all the ones on the ground was on. So the master was up in the overhead, and then I could adjust the power output using the remote. So as you can see here, if I adjust the power output, it can go up and down. The problem is when they were all on the same channel, they were all adjusting up and down at the same time, which is not good. Then I learned if I turned them all off, then I could adjust them I can adjust the one above, and then I can go manually adjust the ones on the ground. Still is a pain in the butt. So, but with that cell setting on, all the strobes on the ground set as slaves, and the strobe overhead set as the master. I can control the power of the master without affecting the power of the slaves. And then when the master fired, the slaves would fire. That worked really well, but it still got me to thinking. If each one of these is set as a slave, why do they have to be on the same channel? Why can't they all be on their own channel? So what I did is I set every one to its own channel. The ones on the ground are slaves. The one in the overhead is a master. But now I can adjust the individual strobe. You'll notice this won't adjust. I can adjust this one with its own remote. This one over here with its own remote. And the master is being adjusted with the one that's on the camera. So what I did is I numbered each one of my strobes to match the number on the remote. So when these are on my desk, I knew which one was which. And I can adjust them independently. And then when I'm ready to fire them all off, as you'll see here, this one is firing off, and these two beside me are seeing the light from it, and they're firing off as well. Perfect. Now I have a remote control to adjust every single light in my group without having to get out of my seat. I can do everything right from my laptop, so I can see what's going on the screen. I can make all my light adjustments just by sitting right here and making adjustments with the remotes that came. Too cool. That is a lot of features and a lot of usability in a very inexpensive strobe.